bought their way. The motherland is back there now. At first it was slavery, then it was the diamonds. Now you're talking about minerals, and you got China coming through the back door of that. I'm like, what do we do? How do we attack this? You know, because what these people don't understand or feel what we understand and what we feel. Because it's about the almighty dollar with them, period. They have no hearts, no souls about human life, human dignity. They do not understand that concept as we as a people do. So, humanity, do we have to go for another civil war? Do we have to march in the street peacefully demonstrating with candles? I mean, we have to do all of that to get the awareness out, like the young lady said. We have to get the word out. And as my favorite historian says, Malcolm X, by any means necessary. Whatever it takes.
And I just wanted to respond to what you said. And because I work with all age groups, but because I work with young people mostly, this was an analogy I hit on that you talked about that I use with young people. And I said, what we really need is to create a Justice League. You know what I mean? By like Batman. And so, you know, and I said, every one of us in this room has a superpower that we may or may not be using. But when you need someone who can fly, you don't call the Flash. You know, each one of us, you know, you're a filmmaker and you're a filmmaker and you're in the mental health field. What has to happen is we all just, it's why I love these opportunities to connect and say, this is what I know how to do, this is my superpower, and here's how I can use it to serve the community in this very specific way. And I think we need to keep having meetings like this and discuss and make the connections. And I think that's what it will take.
What we need is a new party, the People's Party.
Okay, that's what I've been trying to hear the whole night, education. I'm sure you guys know, like, the root of all this, to me, is the educational system. For Africa, it's different. To me, I think that they just think that women is inferior, period. You know, I'm Cameroonese, I know how it is. And the sad part is, from what the lady was saying, she didn't know all that was happening and she lived here. I'm an immigrant, I've been here for 10 years. I knew that for like, since high school. And I find it sad that, I mean, there's so much freedom. It's good, but then it's a lot of tragedies like this happen. You know, I came from a high school that was said to be one of the best high schools in Chicago. I graduated on time, and I didn't even speak English. I did performing arts, and my resume, by the age of 18 years old, was full, and I graduated on time. That's a problem, you know? So, yeah, I'm saying, like, the root of all this is education, and, you know, I really pray that Obama does something about it, like, really soon, because when you turn on CNN, it's just sad, you know, it's a lot of big tragedies that I don't hear, you know, from where I'm from, in France, you know, to hear that even a girl, 15 years old, is pregnant, at 15, it would be like a big thing in France, and here it was just like, in high school, it was just like a trend. You know, everybody was, you know, it's just, I wish everybody realized that in America, that it's something gotta happen in education.
Is that it? I would just like to thank everybody for coming out for the last day. Oh,
I'm sorry, Mary. Can I just say something really quickly, because it was just for some really good points out there too. I think that the educational component is key, and so one of the things that the Collective Advocates is doing is we're forming a nonprofit in 2013 called the Collective Advocates for Social Change and Development. And so what that's going to do is provide complementary and supplemental education to all ages of people. So we're going to be working with teenagers through people in later years, because there are things that I'm still educating myself about, that I'm re-educating myself about, and so it doesn't stop when you get to a certain age or you graduate from a certain level of the educational system. You have to continue to seek out learning and wanting to be better than you were before, to know something other than what you already know, and then be able to share that. And so if you see something tonight, for example, that touched you, and you say, well, this is something that maybe the people that I'm around do not know about, you should come talk to us and say, how can I make this possible in my local church, in my local organization, in my fraternity or my sorority? Because what we have to continue to do is continue to let this drive outside of this building and into other institutions to make sure that we make this an issue everywhere that we go. But more importantly, what we didn't talk about here that we have to start to see about human trafficking is that it's also part of the way in which our culture provides for consumerism and entertainment. So when we have people that support local strip clubs and pornography, that is a form of entertainment that our society consumes. And it's a way in which we are acculturated in terms of how we see gathering together and celebrating marriage or birthdays or whatever. And that when we all participate in that, we participate in the sustainability of this $32 billion industry. So we have to change the way we're wearing our blinders and take them off and see the way in which we are participants in the same issue that we raise and fuss about.
I just want to say I am like, I want to do the same, like I really look up to you guys, like it's very, I think that a lot of people should just stand up, for rights, and that's definitely going to be what I'm going to do for, as I go in my career, yeah.
First of all, I'd just like to thank everybody for being with us for the last 2 nights.
Mary, just 1 minute. I'm sorry. Yes, I just want to make sure that this issue has nothing to do with women being inferior, because we as a Bantu people in Africa, we really see the place of a woman in the economy and in life. I think that this has to do with corporation greed and capitalism. Because the Western countries are funding, in the case of the Congo, the US and other Western countries are funding soldiers from Rwanda and Uganda to go kill, rape, and loot in the Congo, and that is the issue. I think that people need to know that as US citizens, there's some things that we can do. We can tell the people that govern us that we do not want that 6 cents of each of your tax dollars goes to fund war in the Congo and kill women and children are being raped in millions for that. And this is something that we can do by calling the White House and telling them that, I do not want my tax dollar to be used to kill children and rape women. And I think if we assert ourselves in that way, then our leaders will know that if they're not going to take responsibility, we are going to take responsibility.
I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out this evening. Victoria's going to do the closing, but I would like to say that is one of the reasons why that these events are so important. If one person can become aware of what's going on, it all makes it all worthwhile. And I'd just like to thank all of you. I know you have busy lives and busy schedules, and we've had some really great guests over the last 2 days, and I'm just sorry that more of the community did not come out and see it. I, for one, don't deal with excuses. Victoria can tell you, I don't like excuses. So when we make excuses that, our children don't have anything to do, no, you're not bringing them out. Nobody's going to come to your living room. You have to bring your children out. And we hear excuses all the time in our neighborhoods, and when we hear excuses, we're going to have problems. And problems are never solved by excuses. They're solved by solution and hard work. So, like I said, I'm really sad that we did not have more people to come out, but I thank you for your time, and I thank you for the audience that were here, and I don't take anything for granted, and so you're so much appreciated. Not only our guests, but our audience. And so thank you so much.
My mom pretty much said it all, but like she said, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out for the pageant. past 2 days, and it's been a truly tremendous experience. When we had it last year, we had a great experience, and I got the same feeling from last year that I got over the past 2 days. And actually, Reverend Sharpton asked me in August to do this again this year, and that's why I did it. But unfortunately, he couldn't be here. I apologize for that. But like I said, I'd just like to thank everyone for being here today. Our panelists were awesome. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for coming. Also, the young lady wanted to know if you had any literature or handouts or business cards that you can give her, the one who's supposed to be our campaign, or our campaign manager over there.
Stay right here, don't go away. I think we have to thank Mary and Victoria for having such a good job. It was really well. Thank you so much. Thank you, Victoria, and thank you for the panelists also. Just keep it going. Because the people that were here, they were here, and they got something. They can spread the word. If each person brings just one other person next year, just one, it'll start growing and become much bigger.
Well, you know what, I would say something to what Ms. Marie just said. I got a phone call a few minutes ago, and one of the panelists had on his Facebook page a picture of what happened yesterday. And one of the mayors in upstate New York want the same guests upstate that we had here. They want to do the Civil Rights Film Festival upstate. So, yes. So I gave them that phone call that they saw the list of the guests, and it's like they have this empty movie house, and he wants to utilize it by doing that. And that was upstate New York. So, you know, the hard work was noticed. So thank you so much for coming.